Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for tuning in. This video has been highly requested, let's just say. Cash stuffing is back. I feel like I've got a lot of explaining to do because I did start my cash stuffing journey back in January and I can't even remember the last time I filmed one. I guess I just want to explain first of all why I stopped cash stuffing, why I'm starting again, and what I'm doing to help me save money over this current cost of living crisis that we are in at the minute. I've got to say, you guys have been asking for it, and so many months I've been wanting to get back to it, but there's just been a few things that have been getting in the way and basically just excuses as to why I haven't been doing it. So without further ado, let's just crack onto the video and let's start saving some money again. So first of all, if you are new to my channel, you haven't seen any of my cash stuffing videos, basically what I have done in the past and what I plan on doing from now is basically I withdraw some of my money from the bank and I use it as physical cash, as a saving scheme, rather than keeping it in the bank and just tapping my card. For me personally, I did find it incredibly useful to save money this way because I was more aware of what I was spending. So for example, if I was going food shopping, you know, sometimes I might just like pick up things that I don't necessarily need. In my head it was okay because I was just tapping the card. There wasn't the physical responsibility of handing over money. In some ways it makes it a little bit more painful if you're handing over physical cash. And then once I started cash stuffing, I knew how much I had, I knew how much I could spend, and then I would put things back that I didn't actually need, and in ways that helped me to save some money. And what I do is I've got a little file of facts which I will link in the description if you want to start this as well, and it's separated into different sections and I allocate a certain amount of money per month to go towards that section. I will be doing my cash stuffing as usual in the next part of the video, where you can see kind of how I'm delegating things and how much money I'm putting towards what. But my cash stuffing wallet has changed quite significantly since the last time I filmed one of these videos. Let's talk about why I stopped cash stuffing. I don't really know how to explain this other than I just started to find it a little bit more difficult. In terms of kind of how the economy is progressing at the minute, I'm starting to find that there are a few places that are completely cashless. So for example, sometimes I would go to pay for something and I would get to the till and say, oh, it's card only. And for me, when I'm stood at the checkout with something, say for example I have withdrawn that money from the bank, I don't really have it in the bank anymore because I've got it in cash, which was a little bit annoying because cash is still legal tender, and I ended up having to spend that money on the card. But what I leave in my bank account is only what I have for my bills, so I calculate how much my bills come to each month and I leave that money in the bank so that that's there. But it just meant that I had to then take the money back to the bank to put in to compensate for what I'd had to pay on card. So I found that a little bit difficult with certain things. Staying on the topic of going to the bank, so a lot of my cash stuffing wallets included a lot of like money that I was trying to save. So I found that if I withdrew the money and put it into a wallet, I knew that that was dedicated to, for example, my emergency fund or towards a new kitchen, which I'm wanting. I've been wanting this new kitchen for a long time now. It is taking a while to save up for, but we're getting there. And then every few months I would then take that money to the bank, deposit it back into the bank, and then transfer it into a Hyperjar account. Basically, if you don't know about Hyperjar, it's basically a system or a banking system where you can allocate your money into different sections. So I have different jars for emergency fund, for my kitchen, I save for my car insurance, and then when I need the money, it is there specifically allocated towards that. So I was finding that going back to the bank was a little bit annoying because in my area the closest bank to me has actually shut, and it's quite a way to get to the bank now for me. It's about a 40-minute round trip, and there's not great parking, and it just got a little bit more difficult to make those trips because I had to allocate, you know, quite a large portion of the day for it, and if I couldn't get parked then it was just annoying. So that was starting to get a little bit tedious going to and from the bank every month. The other reason why I stopped it, or why I am now changing the way that I'm doing things, is that I started to get a little bit paranoid about having large amounts of cash in the house. So like I say, I used to withdraw quite a large amount of cash and then allocate it to the different wallets, and sometimes I wouldn't returned to the bank with the money for a number of months, which meant that I had a large amount of cash lying around in my house. Like, don't get me wrong, it was, you know, hidden away, though I don't think anyone would have found it if they did break in, but I just don't want to take that chance. Which brings me on to how I'm changing my cash stuffing system now. So beforehand, let me go and get my wallet and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is my cash wallet. It has quite a lot of different sections in it. The sections that I had were petrol, food shopping, self-care, kitchen, social, car, spending and emergency fund. And then in the back here I did have to allocate, because I ran out of these little plastic wallets. I had a birthdays and Christmas and a holiday section as well. So as you can see, that is the majority of those were actually saving wallets rather than spending wallets. So as you can imagine, over a couple of months, if I'm saving into all of those wallets every single month, the cash did start to add up and it was just getting a little bit too much. So what I'm going to be doing from now on is I'm actually going to remove the wallets which I would use for saving, and I'm only going to have the wallets which I use for spending. So at the end of every month, those wallets should be either empty or have a very little amount of cash in them. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to transfer straight from my bank into my Hyperjar account for the savings things, because at the end of the day it was going to end up there anyway. So rather than keeping that amount of cash in the house, I'm just going to transfer it straight into the Hyperjar accounts. Another reason why I stopped cash stuffing kind of links to the cashless side of things, and that is that I just found a lot of things easier to buy online. For example, my sister's birthday is coming up along with my cousins. A lot of the things that they've asked for on their birthday is something that you buy from the likes of Amazon or another online shop. And again, it's the same situation where like I wouldn't have that cash in the bank because that was for my bills, because I had it in physical money, which for the likes of Amazon doesn't work. That was one reason, and the final reason is just kind of trying to adjust to the new cost of living crisis that's currently happening in the UK. A lot of prices for things are going up. Energy bills, food shopping, just everything is just getting so expensive. Just kind of trying to adjust to that. Kind of I lost my way a bit with terms of like how much I was dedicating to certain things, because I was taking my, for example, £25 a week to Aldi to do my food shopping and it just wasn't covering it. So I would end up short at the end of the month and then end up dipping into the other wallets, which kind of messed things up a bit. So that is some of the reasons why I stopped cash stuffing. However, I am starting again. As I said, I'm only going to be including the wallets in this binder, which I'm going to be spending on every month. So I'm going to keep my petrol money, because that is something that I can go to a petrol station and just pay for in cash. I'm going to keep my food shopping wallet, which again I can just pay for in cash, and then I'm going to have a social / spending wallet, which will be just a combination of, because I know, for example, that Christmas and things are coming up and that can be an expensive time. So having like that dedicated money where I can go out to a Christmas party or something and know I've only got a certain amount of money to spend that night, so it'll just keep me on track in that sense. And then I'm going to have my self-care wallet, which is things like my skincare, hair care, things that I spend to look after myself. So that's what my wallets are going to look like from now on. I'm really excited to start cash stuffing and getting back into it, because it really did work for saving money for me personally, and I'm looking forward to getting it started up again. So I'm going to show you now what I'm cash stuffing for the month. I'm going to take you through the categories and how much I'm allocating to each one, and then at the end of the video I'm just going to share some money saving tips and things that I've been doing to try and keep my bills a little bit lower and try to get us through this crisis together. Okay, so like I showed you before, this is my cash stuffing wallet. It's got some areas there for cards if you want. It's got another section there, and then it comes with these little inserts, and these things which for each section I actually made myself on Canva, and you can just print them out on a bit of card. But now we have just got a petrol one, a food shopping one, self-care, and then spending / social, and then you've got another little section at the back that you can keep things in. So that is just the 4 sections that we're going to have from now on. This month for cash stuffing, I've got £450, so we'll just count that out in 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 20, 40, 60, 80, 400, 20, 30, 40, 50. So there's £450 there, which I'm going to separate into the wallets. So in the first section, which is petrol, I'm going to put £120. This budget's for about £60 per tank, and I'm planning on filling up twice this month. Sometimes I don't use that much, but sometimes I do. So it's nice to have it there if I need it. So we've got 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 and 20. I'll just pop that in the wallet. Petrol prices seem to be all over the place at the minute. They were quite high and then they dropped down a bit, but they seem to be creeping up a little bit again. And it does cost between 50 and £60 for me to fill my tank. And then next we've got the food shopping. Now I do have some coppers still in here from the last time I did that, so I'm just going to leave them in there. And I'm just going to put in £140, which averages at about £35 per week. Now this might seem a little bit too much, I think it might be, but I just want to try it out for the first month, see how we do with it, and then we can reevaluate it next month. So we've got 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 40. Sometimes when I go food shopping, I can literally spend about £25, and then other times it is £35 to £40. So it's nice to have that in there just in case. And then for self-care, so this includes my skincare, hair care. I also get my hair done every sort of 6 to 12 weeks. So I'm just going to pop some money in there. Again, this is experimental. I'm not quite sure how much of this I'm going to spend, because you don't need to renew your skincare every month. Some products last longer than others, but I'm just going to pop it in there just to be safe. So we're budgeting for £150. I am due to get my hair done this month as well, so that should hopefully cover that as well. So we've got 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 and 20, 40, £50. Pop that in there. And then for my spending / social wallet, again, I've got 63 pence in there from the last time, and we're just going to pop in £40. So this should cover me for maybe one night out, and if I end up spending any money elsewhere. So we've got 20, 30, £40 going in there. So then that is my new wallet all done, looking a lot smaller than it was last time, but hopefully this is the start of a new cash stuffing style, which will hopefully work for me. Okay, so now that my cash stuffing is done for the month, I'm going to move on to some money saving tips. Quick disclaimer, I am not a money saving expert. To be honest, I'm quite the opposite. I am a little bit of a spender, but this has really been helping me, and I thought I would just share with you some things that I've been doing to help me save money on my energy bills. So the first thing that I've done, and I've prattled on about this on my channel, God only knows how many times, you guys will already know, but if you don't, I've been living in this blanket hoodie. Now this is a giant hoodie that I wear 90% of the time when I'm in the house. It's got this gorgeous fleece lining on it, which is so soft and warm. It's huge, it's got a big pocket in the front, and it's just like having a warm cuddle for hours on end. Not gonna lie, my cat Billy has been trying to crawl into the little pocket on the front, which is so cute, and he has also been claiming it on times, but it is like having a giant blanket on you that you can just wear around the house. And I have actually been finding that this has stopped me from putting my heating on as much as I usually would. I'll leave in the link in the description for this one, but I would highly recommend. I think if you're going to invest in something, I mean, they're only about £25 I think, but if you're gonna spend some money on something that's gonna stop you from putting the heating on, then this is it. The next thing that I also have is an electric dryer. So in terms of, again, not putting my heating on, I've been using a electricity powered like clothes rail. So basically what it is, I'll pop a little picture. I got mine from Home Bargains. I don't know if they still sell them anymore, but I know that a lot of places still do. I'll leave some links for some in the description. I'll try and find some of the cheaper ones, because they can get quite expensive, because obviously companies are wanting to profit from the fact that people want to save money. which doesn't make sense, but yeah. And then it blows out warm air into this tent, and then it's got these little vents along the top. So I also find that not only is it drying my clothes, but it also heats up the room that it's in. So if you wanted to pop another clothes area on next to it, it would also probably dry those clothes. It really does get so warm in the rooms that it is that it's on in, so you're kind of killing two birds with one stone. So you're drying your clothes, keeping your house warm, and you're not putting the heating on, so it'll be costing a fraction of the price. I think I got mine maybe last year, so before this all happened I got mine, so mine was quite cheap. I think it was only about £20, but I would say they're definitely worth the investment because they do run a lot cheaper than putting the heating on. In terms of actually putting the heating on, so I have actually put the heating on once or twice this winter so far, just purely because sometimes if I've not got the dryer on and I'm just feeling a little bit too chilly, then I do pop it on for an hour. But also you need to pop it on just to make sure that your pipes don't freeze, so make sure that you're not keeping it off all winter. The next thing, staying on the topic of keeping your energy bills at bay, is to look around for what your company provider is promoting in terms of energy saving. So I'm with Octopus Energy personally, and I recently got an email about saving sessions. So this email reads that you can earn up to £100 by using less electricity at peak times in winter. So this is from November to March. I'll be invited to join at least 12 1 to 4 hour sessions where if I use less energy at peak times, then I can earn rewards and up to £100. It says here that on the email that they're going to email me when a saving session is coming up, so it's usually in like the early evenings, but they'll email me probably the day before and tell me when those sessions are going to be, so then I know not to stick my washer on, I know not to do my cooking then, and maybe I can cook earlier on in the day and then try and use as little energy as possible during that time and earn myself some money. So those are the things that I've been doing recently to try and save myself some money. Let me know in the comments what you've been doing, if anything, or if you found these tips helpful. But that does bring me to the end of this video. I hope that you've enjoyed it and found it a little bit useful. I hope that you are all managing during this crisis. I know it is a really tough time for people, and yeah, let's try and get through this together. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, go hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.
Baby, let me love you, let me love you, let me love you, let me love you.